Ah, you've caught up with me again, and believe me, this new Fireblade does take a bit of catching up with. It's a bloody quick bike. But I was talking before about the weight, or shall we say the lack of the weight, and I was saying that it's lighter now, 168 kilos, it's lighter than some 600cc bikes. And I'll tell you something, the first time I jumped on this, I thought, wow, it feels really small. It felt tiny almost, smaller than some 600cc's that I've been on recently. And really, it's a world apart from the old Fireblades. Remember the old models with the big fat tanks and you had your arms stretched around the big fuel tank there. And that's another change on this. This fuel tank is a different shape. Obviously, you can see it's different styling, but it's now shorter at the back and the back end is actually lower. And what happens is you're now actually further forward. You're sat further forward, so you're right over the headstock with all the weight on the front, and it really does make the bike feel quite small. Of course, distinctive features, the bodywork, all brand new bodywork, all this sort of edge styling, this very ultra modern look now. I think it looks fantastic. Superb big headlamp cluster up there. I'm finishing off this very smart, very trendy stepped seat and tail unit. We've got some trendy LED tail lights. The Fireblade has to be one of the easiest bikes to ride fast. Maybe that's why insurance companies love them so much, but it is. Power delivery is just so smooth and seemingly endless. It just goes on and on. The handling is fantastic. It feels as flickable as a 600cc race rep, and so it should be. It's lighter than most. Suspension, of course, is fully adjustable, and apart from a slight modification to the rear, it's the same as last year's model. Of course, superb handling and performance is no use to anyone unless you've got decent brakes. And with 330mm twin discs up front, just about the biggest you'll find on any production bike, bringing the whole thing to a stop is never going to be a problem. You've no doubt gathered by now that I absolutely love this bike. I think it looks fantastic, it handles superb, and in terms of performance, this bike is capable of much more than I will ever need. And I think if we were all honest, that's the case for 99.9% of people who will ever get on a bike like this. In terms of out and out performance, well, Suzuki's GSX-R and Yamaha's new R1 will kick out more BHPs, but so what? What does that mean, and will we ever really be able to tell riding these in the real world? I doubt it. One thing that may make the Blade slightly more popular than some of its competitors is that it does offer a certain degree of comfort. Okay, you can get your head down, you can go real racetrack stuff if you want, but you can actually sit upright a little bit. It's not quite as focused as some of the other bikes in this class at the moment. So that's it. It's been around now for 10 years, the Blade. And this engine now is the final development of the engine that we first saw in 1998. I say final development because now at 954cc's, that is as far as it will go. If they bore it out anymore, the cylinders will meet in the middle. So if Honda want to keep taking on the opposition, next time they'll need a new engine.